he says these are all the symptoms of rabies. So
yeah, he's our exposition character.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is day 26. It is October 26th of our 31 days of Halloween, and we have another movie for you that's underrated in my opinion. It's one of my favorite movies that I like to watch, especially for a found footage movie. Yes, I'm talking about 2008's Quarantine. And I think that this movie, it deserves a rewatch. I think people should definitely check it out because I feel like it's kind of forgotten. And it does kind of live in the shadow of the movie that it is based upon, which is Rec. If anybody knows what Rec is like a foreign found footage film. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, and it's definitely worth watching. And I definitely think Anthony should check that out as well.
I will check it out.
But this is the American version of that movie. It is very good in my opinion. So before we talk about this movie a little bit more, I just want to remind everybody, please go hit that like and subscribe button down below, or go to patreon.com/thecalvincam, join one of our 3 tiers, and, you know, help donate to the cause. So now talking about Quarantine, this movie, I remember being there at the premiere for it in 2008. I think I was about, 17? Yeah, 17 years old. And yeah, just watched this with a bunch of buddies. We really enjoyed it. It was definitely a good high school movie for sure, especially in the scary realm. You know, always going to the theater, being young, being stupid. So
We've all been there.
So yeah, and I think I pretty much was closing my eyes for half of it because I was a big scaredy cat back then. So now not so much. I've seen so many horror movies, but I have certain triggers that people know about. But other than that, like I love horror. So yeah, Anthony, this was your first watch.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I watched this movie. This movie, I thought this movie was really, really good. It's really well paced too. It's no different than any found footage movie that you're gonna see, especially at this like mid 2000s. After seeing Cloverfield and then seeing this, like I kind of like bumped this movie up over, you know, the OGs, which is Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity. I mean, I like those movies, but this one kind of got a little bit of a bump because I actually enjoyed this movie a little more. Yeah, you first get into it. This movie stars Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't know Jennifer Carpenter, she plays the sister in the Dexter series. And
Dexter's badass.
Yeah, Dexter's a really great show. So she's a reporter. I think she works for like some LA news play because I think this takes place in Los Angeles.
Oh man, I don't remember. I didn't pay attention enough.
Yeah, I believe it does. So she's like a late night anchor, and she's doing a report with, you know, the LA fire department, because it is LA, because the guy has the LA coat when he goes into the building.
Oh yeah.
She's in there and she's reporting, and they're trying to just go through a day of routine of what the firefighters go, and then they go through it, and it's pretty entertaining. It's cool. It's kind of like, it just gives you a sense of found footage, like an actual newscast. She's doing a broadcast.
Yeah.
And then they go on a call. So they get in and they go to this apartment where they get this call. There's been a disturbance with an old lady. And there's been screams and stuff. So they go to this call, and they enter the building. And this is when the movie begins and starts. So they go up and they answer this call, and she's this lady's like, you know, she's freaking out a little bit. I think she's still a little conscious, but I think she's in the midst of turning from this virus. It's a rabid, like rabies type virus.
Yeah.
So we get that, and instantly she bites the cop. And the madness begins. And so actually I thought the found footage, like there was camera shake in this, but it was actually pretty good.
It's pretty contained, and I think that they do a good job of blending the handheld versus like actual shots, like holding it still enough to like make actual shots. And I think that that's one of the things I like about this movie a lot is that it's not too shaky. You know, it's because I know camera shake upsets a lot of people, especially in found footage, because it can make you sick. It can like fuck your equilibrium up. Like,
Oh yeah.
so, but I think this film does a really good job at keeping it kind of steady. And also, I really like the cameraman in this one. He's definitely a good sidekick character, and I think that he brings good comedic elements also to this, kind of like in Cloverfield, but not as much as T.J. Miller did in that movie. But there are certain things that I like in this film. This is a lot more violent than that movie, and I think one of the parts that I liked is when he actually beats one of the infected with the camera. I think that's a really cool shot when he's just like, and you just
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then he wiped the blood off of it. Yeah, there's some really good shots in this where he got up on top of the ledge to photograph, because they had the CDC guys come in and they were doing a blood sample and then a brain tissue sample, because they were talking about rabies. And the only way to see if they can, to see you have rabies, you have to get a brain sample, I guess, apparently. Well, this is the information we get, because in this apartment building there's a vet in there. He's like, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a vet. But he says these are all the symptoms of rabies. So
yeah, he's our exposition character.
Yeah, and you find out during this that there's some sort of room that they go into at the end of the film. This kind of reveals the plot a little bit of what's going on. So you have apparently this dog had went to the vet because it was sick, and then it bit the lady, Mrs. Espinoza, the one that I mentioned earlier that bit the cop. Mm-hmm. And then you have this whole outbreak thing, but then you see at the end that there was some sort of I don't know if it was a terrorist organization group, but there was some guy up there creating some sort of viral like rabies upstairs. And then you get that because there's a zombie up there.
Yep.
There's like some sort of, there's an infected up there, and you get that at the end. So it kind of unravels the plot for you. And I thought that was really, really well at the end, how it was executed. Cause you're like, okay, it's a found footage film. You know, it's pretty entertaining. I mean, I thought all the shots that the cameraman did in this movie were really good to portray the infected individuals. I thought that Jennifer Carpenter's performance was really good in this movie too. I thought she had me genuinely freaking out at the same time she was. So I was pretty much in her position, like, oh my God, she's freaking out, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good blending of like quick jump scares in this, like throughout it. You know, a lot of loud noise, especially when the infected are like attacking them. But yeah, like what would you give this movie for a rating?
I like this movie. I'm gonna give it 4.
Nice.
I thought it's not better than Cloverfield in that regards, but that's just a whole different movie. But I just thought the way the found footage, the guy that held the camera this time, he did a really good job. I thought her acting was really good, Carpenter's acting, and I just thought the story was really well done at the end, and the plot. The last 20 minutes of this movie is really, really good, especially when he turns on the infrared and we get her being dragged in by the zombie, and then the movie ends. So I thought it was really good. This is a 4.
Nice. I'm going to do that thing that we always do, and I'm going to agree with Anthony on this one. I think this is a solid 4. I think this movie has fantastic pacing. It's easy to follow. There's not a whole lot of mystery. There's mystery, but like it's straightforward. You know what I mean? And you get most of the information that you're looking for in this film. It just leaves off with a little, like found footage films usually do, leaves off with a little like, oh shit, like there could be more to this. So
yeah, you could easily get a sequel to this movie. Yeah. And I don't know if there was a sequel to this movie.
There was, but I've never seen it, so I don't know if it ties into this movie at all. I know it's called Quarantine 2 Terminal. Okay. And I think it takes place in an airport or on a plane. But that's all I know about it. So
So interesting. I'll have to check that one out.
I know that Rec has 2 or 3 sequel. No, yeah, 2 or 3 sequels. There's either 3 movies or 4 movies. So,
Good stuff.
yeah, good stuff. So yeah, that brings us to fun facts, everyone. So
Fun facts. Here we go.
fun fact first. First fun fact. Pulling it up and sorry. Okay. So the apartment complex was a set, but a fully functioning one with 4 floors. So that was just like a whole big ass set.
Yeah. So it was basically a whole building because you saw the elevator and the dog and
Yeah.
the guy that went in the elevator.
That's cool though, because like that's not a real apartment. That's just like literally made. That's cool. Let's see. A typical for a Hollywood production, this film does not feature a musical score.
Oh, it doesn't.
This movie was shot in chronological order, which, I mean, found footage movies usually do. I know Quarantine did a little different, if I remember right, reading about those fun facts. Or, I mean, Cloverfield. Did I say Quarantine?
You said Quarantine.
Let's see. In October 2008, Knott's Berry Farms theme park in Buena Park, California, had a quarantine-themed walk-through maze for the park's 36th annual Knott's Scary Farm Halloween Haunt.
Not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, let's see. Like I said before, this is a remake of Rec that came out in 2007. Rec 2 came out in 2009 and was filmed in the same building, but Quarantine 2 Terminal wasn't filmed in the same building, but in a plane and in an abandoned building. The average shot was between 4 and 6 minutes long. Was not screened in U.S. or for U.S. critics. That's uncommon. So
doesn't normally happen?
Well, usually critics watch, like some form of critics usually watch movies ahead of time, especially now.
They either have like a screening or they go to a film festival or something most of the time.
Yeah. Quarantine also guest stars in Lawrence also guest stars in Grey's Anatomy, which came out in which started in 2005, wherein his character is reluctantly sent to quarantine during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's funny.
Let's see. Both Jennifer Carpenter and Steve Harris have starred as comic book characters in the Batman saga. Carpenter would go on to voice Selena Kyle in Gotham by Gaslight in 2018, and Harris voiced Detective Ian Bennett Clayface in The Batman 2004 through 2008.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer connections. Sharon Ferguson portrayed the first Slayer, while Diana Ramirez played one of the potentials. Doug Jones portrayed one of the gentlemen demonic beings that caused the city's Sunnydale to be put under quarantine.
That's pretty interesting.
That's just a funny.
Yeah.
And then let's do one more for you. The ending where Angela drops the camera and is dragged off into the darkness by an infected person, presumably dying, was meant to be a surprise ending. Despite this, the theatrical poster and DVD/Blu-ray covers spoiled it.
Oh.
That's funny.
It is funny.
All right, so that's going to be today's episode. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed these episodes. We really like doing them. Yeah.
We're getting close to the end.
We're getting close to the end.
Of our second season. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. So,
yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on tomorrow's episode.
See you guys. See you tomorrow.